Hey everyone, Thomas Crawford from Darkstream Music Management here. Today I want to talk to you about AI. AI has been going on for a few years now. It's definitely a controversial subject, but AI is definitely getting bigger and bigger in the music world. A lot of budding musicians and artists that never had the confidence before to write their own music are now using the simplicity and the ease of AI to go and write their own songs or what they believe to be their own songs. And what I want to talk about today is basically sharing can you copyright AI songs? Are you able to upload for distribution, to be able to stream on, like Apple Music and Tidal and Spotify and so on? And how much are you protected and how much you're not? And to kind of get started with that, the big thing that I think independent artists really need to understand is when you write and record a song, there are two main components. There's the sound recording, which is you actually recorded it, mixed, mastered, so on. That's your sound recording. And then there's the composition. And the composition is, basically who wrote the music, who can copyright it and how much is copywritten. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about those differences right now. I'm going to go over that in a later video, but mainly wanting to go over how this works in music and AI. Now, a couple of disclaimers before we get started on this. One, this is just the current state based off of as of the time I recorded this video. There's good chance a lot of these will change. Regulations are constantly changing, so definitely try to stay informed. Also, this is not legal advice, legal backing. This is completely based off of my own research and things that I found. And in the end, you basically can use these as guidelines for using AI going forward. And kind of starting off, there's basically four specific levels that I kind of see in using AI. And each of these levels have different levels of risk attributed to them. So the first and lowest risk level is basically using AI strictly as a tool. Think of things like brainstorming lyric ideas, rhyming, rhyming patterns, chord ideas, structural inspiration. You know, and in those cases, from an ownership perspective, you should be able to fully copyright that song. Your PRO registration should be pretty clean and easy, and distribution goes as normal. In this case, it's AI assisted but human authored. Copywriting and PROs think of it as like a thesaurus rather than creating it. Now, level two is AI as a co creator. This one comes with moderate risk. Examples of this would be AI generates drafts, but humans heavily rewrite and reshape it. When it comes to the ownership side of it, only the human authored portions are protected. And it also must show some meaningful creative decisions made in that. Like I said, this one's kind of a little bit of a gray area. And in this, you want to make sure that you're documenting specifically what you contributed versus AI. Because whenever you go to try to submit for copyright and register with a PRO, you have to document how much of that was in there. Now, the third level is where AI generates the song, but humans are executing it. So, for example, AI generates the full lyrics and the melodies, and then the humans go and take that and perform it and record it. From an ownership perspective, the composition in this is not protected at all. And the only thing that would be protected would be the recording. So you could technically upload it for a distribution and go on streaming platforms and make revenue from that. But that would be the only portion that's remotely protected. And then for PRO registration, it's likely that it would be weak and invalid. And basically, in this case, performance is not authorship. So you've got the sound recording side, but you do not have the composition side for it. And the last level, level four, is fully generated songs. In this case, you have no rights to it whatsoever. You're providing a prompt and it's finishing a song. And in this, there's no meaningful human input. With that, you cannot get any composition rights, you cannot copyright it. PRO registration is not allowed at all. And distribution may also be limited or flagged as well. A lot of distribution companies and even some of the stores and streaming services that they submit to run all these songs through like an AI detector, and it has to meet a certain threshold. And if it's a fully generated song and they notice that it's, the majority of it is AI, it's probably going to get flagged and rejected. So, what does this all mean for copyright, PROs, and distribution? For copyright, composition can only be human authored. If there is any AI assistance in it, it has to be heavily human authored, and you have to document any aspects in which AI was involved. AI originated songs definitely lack protection. For PROs, they protect those compositions, and AI authored works do not qualify. Only using it as a tool to assist with it is okay. And again, documenting that. If you try registering a song anyway through a PRO, you're actually putting yourself at future risk. And you don't want to risk those relationships with your PRO. Making sure you're protected for those performance royalties. And then as for distribution, most distributors rely heavily upon your rights declaration, you saying that you own the rights to be able to do this song. Acceptance of that does not equal ownership. And you still put yourself at risk as an artist by having something heavily AI related when doing it through distribution. So, some best practices and key takeaways for using AI in songwriting at all. Only use AI for ideas, not for authorship. Rewrite until the AI output is completely unrecognizable. Start with melodies and lyrics with humans. Don't ask it to create it for you. Document your creative process. Make sure you're outlining how much AI was used and what specifically. And you should never have a point where you're listing AI as a songwriter, because if that's the case, it's not protected and you're not able to register those. AI can be used to accelerate your creativity, not replace it. So there you have it. If you found this helpful, leave a comment in the section below. Let me know what you think about this, what your thoughts on AI in music is. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Darkstream Music Management YouTube channel. If you have other questions or would like to work with us, you can visit us at darkstreammusicmanagement.com. Also, you can join our From Amateur to Pro Music Skool community. Both links are in the description below. Thank you and see you next time.